All right, welcome everyone to another deep dive. Today we're looking into something really, really important and something that's close to a lot of our hearts as parents, caregivers, educators. And that's the power of reading to children. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to really try to figure out, what is it about reading to kids from, basically day one all the way through their teenage years? Yeah. Why is it so important? Why is it so crucial for how their brains develop and just for their general well-being?
It's really fascinating. And, we all kind of have a sense that reading to kids is good for them. But when you actually look at what's happening in their developing brains, it's really astonishing.
Yeah, it is.
We're talking about over 1 million new neural connections forming every single second.
That's right. Yeah, it's a period of just unparalleled brain growth and adaptability.
Wow.
And when you read aloud to a child, it's not just them listening. It's this incredibly active process.
Right.
Their brain is lighting up like a complex circuit board.
Oh, wow.
Thousands of neurons firing simultaneously.
So it's not even just about the story in that moment. It's almost like they're laying down the wiring for how they're going to learn for the rest of their lives.
You got it. Yeah, it's building that fundamental wiring that will support their ability to learn and process information throughout their lives.
And is it more than just the words themselves? It seems like that interaction is really key, too.
Oh, absolutely. The spontaneous conversations that happen around the story.
Yeah.
Those are vital. Like when a child pauses and asks, what does curious mean?
Yeah.
Or they point out a similarity between the story and their own experiences.
Oh, totally.
That back and forth is where the deeper learning occurs.
I see.
It nurtures those crucial cognitive skills.
Yeah.
Their ability to remember details, to think through problems, to make decisions.
So they're not just passively hearing a narrative, they're actively engaging with it.
That's exactly right. They're actively engaging with it, making sense of it in their own way.
So it's like they're building a mental library of how the world works based on all these stories.
Precisely. And reading exposes children to this vast range of ideas and characters and situations they might not encounter in their daily lives.
Yeah.
So it builds that crucial background knowledge.
I see.
That framework, that network of information
right?
that they can then use to understand new experiences.
Okay, so that brings us to this innovative side of things.
Right.
And this Mother AI Tales app, it sounds like a pretty significant shift, from the traditional picture book.
It's a notable evolution.
Okay.
Mother AI Tales, which you can find on both app stores, uses artificial intelligence to personalize bedtime reading in ways that we just haven't seen before.
Okay, so what exactly does this personalization look like in practice? What are we talking about?
So the app allows parents to customize stories in several ways.
Okay.
They can choose to feature their child's favorite characters, which instantly makes the story more appealing and engaging.
That makes sense, yeah.
They can tailor the mood, like a gentle story to help with sleep, or maybe something more exciting if it's earlier in the day.
Okay.
And they can even incorporate seasonal elements.
Oh, cool.
So it feels connected to holidays or current events.
I can see how that would be a game changer for keeping kids interested.
For sure.
My nephew is obsessed with dinosaurs.
Right.
Can you imagine being able to just create a story where he's the main character alongside a T-Rex?
Exactly. It taps directly into those fascinations.
Yeah.
It makes the experience that much more immersive.
Yeah, that's awesome. But it's more than just entertainment, right?
Yeah, what's particularly noteworthy is the app's potential to go beyond just entertainment.
Okay, how so?
So Mother AI Tales gives parents this option to weave in specific moral lessons.
Okay.
Or even biblical themes into the stories.
Interesting.
So it becomes a natural opportunity to discuss values and life lessons.
Oh, that's clever.
The story becomes a vehicle for teaching.
Right.
In a way that feels less like a lecture and more like, a shared adventure.
So you're kind of integrating these important conversations into a routine that's already valued anyway.
Exactly.
Okay, so speaking of routines, let's talk more about the specific advantages of bedtime reading itself.
Okay, yeah, this is where insights from experts like Dr. Leora Mogelner at Mount Sinai are so valuable. She emphasizes that a consistent bedtime reading routine acts as this powerful catalyst for a child's development on multiple levels.
Oh, wow.
Not only does it strengthen the bond between the parent and child,
yeah,
that physical closeness, the shared focus, that's incredibly important for building trust and security.
Yeah, it really is.
But it also directly supports literacy, language acquisition, and even social emotional skills.
And it also impacts their sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Research shows that kids who have this regular bedtime reading routine, They fall asleep easier,
Mm-hmm.
and they have more restful sleep.
It makes sense. It's a way to wind down the day.
The calming nature of the activity,
Yeah.
the focused attention on the story,
Yeah.
the feeling of safety and connection,
Uh-huh.
it all contributes to this smoother transition to sleep.
And that physical closeness, during bedtime reading, it really creates this sense of security.
Yeah.
I've even read studies, like in foster care situations, that show how reading routines can really help kids adapt to new environments.
Right. It's a consistent source of comfort and stability.
Which brings us back to how this Mother AI Tales app could enhance that routine even more.
Right.
Because it seems like it's designed to make the stories even more relevant for the child.
Exactly. So by tailoring stories to the child's interests
Mm-hmm.
and even their individual needs,
Right.
like a story where a character overcomes a challenge similar to one the child is facing.
Yeah, that's cool.
The connection between the story and the child, and therefore the parent and the child,
Right.
becomes even more profound.
Okay, so we're seeing how reading, especially at bedtime, it really touches on all these different aspects of a child's development.
It really does.
Can we break those down a little bit more specifically? Like, what are we actually talking about?
Sure, yeah. So if we look at cognitive development,
Okay.
reading aloud actively engages those brain regions
Mm-hmm.
responsible for mental imagery,
Right.
which is helping children visualize the story,
Yeah.
and narrative comprehension, being able to follow the plot.
So literally helping them build their imagination.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Emotionally, those routines, especially when done with a loving caregiver, foster secure and nurturing relationships,
Okay.
which are so foundational
Yeah.
for healthy social and emotional development.
Mm-hmm.
And through stories, children encounter different emotions.
Yeah.
They learn about empathy.
Yeah.
They gain insight into how others navigate social situations.
And of course, the language benefits are huge.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Reading aloud exposes children to a much wider and more diverse vocabulary
Right.
than they typically encounter in everyday conversation.
It's like such a bigger pool of words they're getting.
Exactly. And it also strengthens their understanding of sentence structure and grammar.
So like the building blocks for their own communication.
Exactly. Lays a really strong foundation for communication skills and future academic success.
And this Mother AI Tales app has the potential to really amplify all these benefits through that personalization. If a child is maybe struggling with sharing,
Right.
a story could be created with their favorite character.
Yeah.
Who's learning about the joys of sharing.
Exactly. By embedding those specific scenarios.
Yeah.
Or familiar elements.
Yeah.
Like a beloved toy or a family outing. And like we said earlier, you can integrate moral lessons.
Right.
Which creates those opportunities for conversations about values.
And it feels less preachy because it's just part of the story.
It just feels more natural. It resonates within the context of the narrative.
That's really cool. Now, one of the hurdles I know a lot of parents have is just keeping up with a consistent reading routine.
Yeah, I get it.
Life gets so busy. And sometimes even finding engaging books or just having the energy at the end of the day, it's like another thing on the to-do list.
It can feel that way.
So how can technology like Mother AI Tales maybe address some of these challenges?
Well, I think this is where the convenience and accessibility of the app come into play.
Okay.
It can help remove those barriers.
Right.
Instead of searching for new books or trying to come up with ideas when you're tired,
Yeah.
you can just quickly generate personalized stories right there on your phone.
So it's like an ever-expanding library at your fingertips.
Kinda, yeah.
And as a kid's comprehension skills grow and their interests change,
Right.
the stories can adapt.
The app's flexibility is a huge advantage.
Yeah, that's really cool.
You're not limited to the same books.
What are some practical first steps for incorporating this into a family's routine?
So it's very user-friendly.
Yeah.
The first step is just to download Mother AI Tales.
Okay.
It's available on both Google Play and the Apple App Store.
Okay.
And once you've installed it, you can start exploring those customization features.
Okay.
Basic features are free,
Okay.
so you can try it out,
Right.
see if it fits your needs, and then there are premium options available if you want more advanced features.
And when you're creating a story, what kinds of options are we talking about?
You can select an age range to generate age-appropriate content. You can choose specific characters, set the mood, like adventurous or humorous.
Right.
You can even choose to have rhyming,
Oh, that's cute.
which can be really good for younger children. And importantly, you can integrate those moral lessons or Christian themes
Right.
if that aligns with your family's values.
Okay, I also noticed something about pre-made story videos.
Yes, in the TV tab,
Yeah.
there's a selection of pre-made animated videos.
Yeah.
So they can be good for when parents are busy,
Yeah, that's a good option.
and they need a short activity for the child to watch.
Okay, and for parents who are just looking to establish any kind of reading routine,
Right.
whether they're using this app or just traditional books,
Yeah.
what do the experts generally recommend?
Start as early as possible.
Okay.
Even with babies who don't understand the words,
Yeah,
they benefit from the rhythm of the language and the closeness with the caregiver
that's a good point.
and make it interactive.
Okay.
If you're using Mother AI Tales,
Yeah.
let your child pick some story elements.
Okay, yeah.
As you read, use expressive voices,
Mm-hmm.
ask open-ended questions about the character's feelings,
Yeah.
and, take the opportunity to discuss any moral lessons.
That's really good advice.
That engagement is key.
And for older kids who are starting to read on their own,
Right.
it sounds like this could be a really good bridge.
Yeah, you could start by reading the stories together.
Yeah.
And then encourage them to read parts on their own.
Right.
And still discuss the content together.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so to sum it all up, it sounds like Mother AI Tales is adding this really cool layer of personalization
Yeah.
to this fundamental practice of reading to our kids.
It has the potential to transform a routine activity into a magical learning experience
Yeah.
by capturing their imagination and thoughtfully integrating life lessons.
So we're not just reading for the sake of reading. We're using it as a tool.
It's about maximizing those benefits.
And when you think about all the research on the impact of reading,
Right.
it seems like this could be a really good investment in our kids' development.
Absolutely. It's nurturing neural pathways,
Mm-hmm.
strengthening bonds, instilling values, creating lasting memories.
So for you, our listener, think about how you might integrate tools like this.
Yeah.
Or just even more intentional practices
Yeah.
into your family's routine.
To support your child's development and create those connections.
Really good stuff. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our deep dive.
Wow, time flies.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But as we see technology keep advancing at this crazy pace,
Right.
it really does make you think,
It does.
how else might AI reshape childhood development in the years to come?
It's a great question to think about.
Yeah, it really is. And you can find more of our deep dives into other compelling topics wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, everyone, until next time.
See ya!
Bye.